Hi everybody, welcome back to the Jackpot Travel channel. If you live abroad in Europe, North America, wherever, then this video is for you. You should watch this. If not, forward it to someone living abroad, especially in Europe. So before I proceed, please do me a favor. If this is your first time of watching our video, or if you've been watching our video before, take a moment and just subscribe. That's the least that you can do for us to encourage us to keep creating good stuff for you. So this video is about preparing yourself to renew your passport or apply for a visa in the embassy of your country abroad. So I will be sharing my experience visiting the Nigerian consulate in Frankfurt recently. My goal here is that you are well informed and also prepared so that you have a good experience when you visit, a government body like that. So two experiences which I'm going to be sharing today with you is one, renewing your passport, how the process works, what you should keep in mind, and also what you can look forward to so that you're not shocked, shattered, or surprised. And then secondly is also with regards to visa application to Nigeria, for example. Okay, so let's get started. A couple of years back, so back in 2019, I renewed my Nigerian passport for the first time at the Nigerian Embassy in Berlin. The process was pretty straightforward. So I had no appointment, so I arrived, they wouldn't let me in, and they mentioned that you have to book an appointment before you can renew your passport. So I had to step aside and wait until those people who had an appointment were first taken in, and then there were still some slots, and then I was allowed to go in. Honestly speaking, my experience was solid. It took a long time. I had to wait long in the waiting room / basement, but at the end of the day I got my passport. No trouble, no drama, simple. 5 years passport. From then fast forward 2024, passport was going to expire, and I already started thinking about this in advance. I checked since where I live now is much closer to Frankfurt than Berlin, I thought it would make sense to go to Frankfurt. Besides that, I've been hearing about the service, the quality of service in Frankfurt, that it's really good. So I wanted to also experience that, coupled with the fact that I live close to Frankfurt now. So I decided I was going to renew my passport in Frankfurt. And then I went to the Nigerian consulate's website in Frankfurt, or the Nigerian consulate in Frankfurt, the website. And then I followed the instruction. Lesson number one, it becomes customary when you live abroad, or in most developed countries, that you just go to the website of where you want to visit. You see the information, you take note, and then you just, you follow the instructions, follow the steps. I did that. I checked the process to renew your passport. And then, so very simple. So you will fill in the application form online, and then after that you're required to make the payment online. Once the payment is completed, then you're also required to book an appointment. And after that, so these are the documents that you need. So the online application form, the payment slip, and then also your passport. Also your appointment slip. And then you also have to go with the biometric picture, and then show up in time. So the appointment from the day I booked it was, the earliest I could see was 3.5 months in advance, because I booked it sometime in September, and then the appointment I got was towards the end of January the next year, 2024. Well, my passport was gonna expire a couple of days after that, so it was okay. I would renew it before it expired. So in my mind, I've done everything. Application form filled, payment done online, appointment booked. I have the passport photograph, and then I showed up at the consulate in Frankfurt. Solid, good staff. They welcomed you in, asked you to do the normal stuff, put your things for security purpose, not to use phone and all that. And then my document was taken. Couple of minutes, I was called in to take my picture. Much faster than in Berlin. In Berlin, it took several hours. Maybe because I had no appointments, but this time I had an appointment, so it was pretty straightforward. So I went in, picture was taken, and then the form was submitted. And then the next thing I heard was, okay, to get your passport today, express, it would cost you 150 euros. If you want us to send it to you in 8 weeks, you just pay 20 euros for the courier fee. So express 150 euros, or in 8 weeks for 20 euros. I was so shocked. Now, I've actually heard before that, okay, hey, if you pay 150, you get it that day. But I didn't have the understanding that this would also apply to you if you came with an appointment. Frankly speaking, I thought, okay, hey, this is the steps which I read online, and then once I'm there with my appointment, my document will be received, and then the passport will be renewed for me. And I thought, okay, hey, I had to wait 3.5 months for this appointment, only to go there and still have to pay for express. So I just could not understand it. And I genuinely asked the guys, what's going on here? Why should I pay 150 euros? I think 150 euros is a lot, especially if you did not plan for it. I don't understand how people do it, but it just seemed like it was okay. Well, I asked them, hey guys, I was not aware of this. I followed the process. I booked online, I made payment online. I was not planning to pay anything extra. And frankly speaking, I would like to have my passport today. And then the guy was like, oh no, this is actually how it's done. If you want to take it today, it's 150 euros for express and then 20 euros for you to have it in 8 weeks. I was so confused, and just coughing out 150 euros that you did not plan for was for me out of the question. So I asked back again, guys, please, I just want my passport. And now we started having this conversation back and forth. There was a guy there who was standing. I'm not sure what his job is, but they claim he's a lawyer and he was going to explain it to me. I'm not sure what the goal of that was, but he called me aside and showed me on his phone a PDF showing this price list. If you're an adult, it's 150 bucks. If you are underage, it's 80 bucks for express. I was like, what's this PDF? I don't see it online. Why is it that you have it on your phone? And they were like, oh no, it's actually online. You can find it online. And then I had to excuse myself to go out of the consulate because you're not allowed to use your phone inside to check. So I couldn't find it online. I came back and I told them I could not find it online, and this is also the reason why I was not prepared. So please, could you consider doing my passport? I was directed to a senior colleague that I had a chat with, and I explained the situation to him, and then he told me, actually, this is the process, 150 express, 20 bucks sent to you. Guys, my point is this: I think if you're living abroad, then you get used to reading things online and then following the due process in the hope that you will get quality service, which is great. But consider the fact that for some of the government bodies, they are not actually like that. So if you are planning to renew your passport, then keep this in mind. Be well informed. My advice to you would be prepare in advance. Prepare at least 6 months in advance, because you would need at least 3 months to get a space, and then couple with that 8 weeks for getting the passport after it's done, so you don't have any drama. I think the guys in Frankfurt, they do a really decent job. What I just strongly would recommend is that this information is made public so people can see it, and it's not just word of mouth information. I think 150 bucks is a lot of money if you're not prepared for it, and I'm not sure how people are paying this money, but if you know about it, that's okay, and you're willing to pay, that's a different story. But if you're not aware, you just show up and then boom, you have to cough out that money. In some cases, you go there, you see their kids, with family members, and then you're thinking 150 bucks or 80 bucks for each of them. So think about it 6 months in advance. The steps are: fill the application form online, make the payment, book an appointment. Keep in mind, they say 8 weeks. So I think if you have this, it's going to go smoothly for you. Now, let's go to the next part of this video, applying for visa to Nigeria. I know you'll be wondering, what does that have to do with me? Well, my wife and I were planning to visit Nigeria, and since she's not Nigerian, she would need a visa to go to Nigeria, because Nigeria is such a great country. You can't get a visa so easily, right? So it was still the same day that we went to Frankfurt, and I thought, okay, hey, since we're going to Frankfurt, it would make sense to renew my passport, and then my wife also gets the visa. We were kind of also surprised, the same, similar experience, but I think this was even a whole different level, because first and foremost, you wouldn't get the visa at the Nigerian consulate in Frankfurt. The visa process is outsourced to a different company, VHS Global. So they are the ones responsible for issuing visa to travel to Nigeria. If you're going to Nigeria from Germany, and probably in other countries, I know at least for Germany, going to Nigeria. The process was pretty straightforward online as usual. You fill in the application form from the Nigerian immigration website, and then it directs you to make your payment, and then after making the payment, you will then book an appointment. The appointment are usually very easy. You get it a couple of days, so not like renewing your passport that takes several weeks, a month, and then you pay maybe like 12 bucks, and then there's processing fee at the end. Online payment is about 20 euros or so. So first we got there to the consulate, and then we were informed that, oh, this is done by VHS Global. Would have been nice to actually see this information online, especially when you booked an appointment, that you see this is the location of my appointment. So we had to walk about 15 minutes from the consulate to VHS office in Frankfurt, and then we got there. So few questions from the guy checking the documents to make sure everything was intact, solid. So we were done with the paperwork, and before that I could already read around the office that a mandatory service fee of 93 euros will be charged, and then if they had to deliver the visa to you, then you pay a courier fee of 22 bucks. We ended up paying 115 euros that day. Again, this was an unplanned payment which could have been avoided if we could see this information online, just to make the life of everybody much better. But sadly, we couldn't see this. So if you're watching this video and you plan on traveling to Nigeria from Germany, your friend, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, it's important that you keep this in mind. What you pay online is not everything that you have to pay. You will most likely have to pay a service fee to the visa processing agency. I took some time to check VHS website to see if I would also find this fee. What I saw on the website is that VHS will charge you something, but I couldn't find exactly how much. I feel like this does not really give a good user experience, in that you plan something that you want to do, you've prepared your budget, and then you've traveled to the location, and then you have to cough out extra money, and we're talking over 100 bucks. That's a lot of money. Secondly, it was also not stated, at least we couldn't see that you can only apply for a Nigerian visa around a month before your trip, because usually the visiting visa would be for 90 days. So they can only issue it about a month before your trip, but not more. So we plan to travel later in the year, something like more than 3 to 4 months in the year, and we thought, okay, hey, you could actually just get the visa now and then plan your trip later, but that's not the case. Keep in mind the service fee that you would have to pay, currently 93 euros. If you're going there much earlier, that's more than a month before you travel, you won't get your visa that day. So you will be asked ship or send your documents by post to them, and they will issue the visa and send it to you with express shipments to your address. So I hope this was valuable to you. I hope you could learn a thing or two, and I sincerely and I hopefully believe that your experience to renew your passport, I believe this probably may not just apply to Nigerians, but also if you're coming from some other African countries or Asian countries, wherever, that the way the consulate or the embassy operates abroad may not necessarily be how the immigration office will behave in your home country. And I think just to make sure that you are well prepared, that you're not surprised by some kind of unnecessary fees, that it just makes sense that you take the time to plan thoroughly and maybe just ask around. I personally feel that going somewhere and then surprisingly you have to pay some extra money, it's not actually very nice. I think it would be good that people are well informed about this up front. So if you don't have this information up front and you wouldn't like to be surprised, then consider preparing at least 6 months in advance if you want to renew your Nigerian passport, for example. If you're from Ghana, Cameroon, Kenya, some other parts of Africa, I really would like to hear your opinion, what it is like renewing your passport abroad. If what you see online is also what you get exactly, or you just have to rely on word of mouth. So I don't want someone else to experience, to have a sad experience or be surprised or be shocked or to have a bad day. I think it's a good thing to visit the embassy of your country in another country or your consulate, because within that vicinity, you're out of that other country, you are back home, and you should feel at home. I think the embassy there at Frankfurt was nice, good people, good staff, they smile, they talk to you. But I think just that shocking experience of having to pay 150 euros was shocking, Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. If you learned something, please consider sharing this video with someone. Well, thank you so much, guys. Do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone. Thank you very much. Bye for now.